Barbara Dean Franklin Show. I am your host, Barbara Dean Franklin, and today I have the awesome pleasure of sitting with my girlfriend, Keisha, the chemo coach Smith. How are you doing, Keisha?
I'm doing great, Barbara. How are you?
I am blessed and highly favored, and I
yes.
truly thank you for coming in, sitting with me, talking about a very important subject, and that subject is breast cancer. I'm going to read what the definition is of breast cancer that I pulled down from the Michigan Gov website. And it says, cancer is a disease which cells become abnormal and form more cells in an uncontrolled way. With breast cancer, the cancer begins in the cells that make up the breast, usually in the tubes that carry the milk to the nipple or the glands that make the milk. The cancerous cells form a mass of tissues called a tumor. Sometimes the cancer spreads to other parts of the body. What I want to know from you, Keisha, is what is breast cancer to you, and tell me a little bit about how it has affected your life.
Okay. Breast cancer to me, it is cancerous cells in your body.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some people, it can be carcinomic, meaning that you can do a carcinogenic, meaning that it comes more to you because of habits that you have. Lung cancer specifically is one of those type of cancers where smoking, but not just smoking, your eating habits, your drinking habits, and it can promote cancer towards you, and you can also be genetically connected to cancer. I'm genetically connected to cancer, but I will also say that my habits that I had along the way pushed that cancer through faster for me. I want to stress something as well. I want to say that African American women, when they're diagnosed with cancer, it's normally a more aggressive strand. So I was diagnosed in 2010 with what you call infiltrating ductal cancer. It came through my milk ducts. I was diagnosed in the beginning at stage 4. As time went on, though, they pulled me back to stage 3. I was 33 years old, 4 kids. Shocked.
I'm sure.
Shocked. Even as I speak about it now, it still is raw. Shocked. In 2009, I was blacking out. I was having constant blackouts. I wasn't understanding why I was blacking out. But I was a drinker. You know, I partied, I drank, you know, and so I was thinking I was drinking too much. I went to a hospital outside of the city of Detroit, and they told me that I had a heart condition at that time, and something in my spirit told me that wasn't right. But I didn't do anything about it right away. And that's one of the reasons why I advocate now, because I didn't do anything about it right away. So 6 months later, I was still blacking out, but I didn't go back to the doctor for a while. And something in my spirit just kept pushing me, go to the doctor. So I made an appointment with my doctor, but my doctor gave me an appointment that was like 3 weeks away. So I called myself, just being honest with you, Barbara, scamming the system. I made an appointment with Carmanos, thinking that they'll get me in right away, they'll say nothing's wrong with me, and they'll send me straight to my doctor so I can get an immediate appointment, because I'm just wondering, why am I blacking out?
So you thought you were scamming the system, but
to get an early appointment.
You were really advocating on your own behalf because you needed to see the doctor.
God was working through me without my acknowledgement, without me knowing. So I go to Carmanos, July 28th, 2010. I go in the back room. They get ready to do a mammogram on me. Because of my age, I'm 33 at the time, they're thinking they're just doing a routine on me. So they get me back there. They do the mammogram, and I remember like it was yesterday. It was like 1:29 p.m. You know, I can remember it well, because all of a sudden more nurses came in the back room. 3 more nurses came back. And when they came in the back room with me, they said, we need to do a biopsy right away. You got to keep in mind, I've never heard what a biopsy is at that point. I never knew any of these things.
They're not explaining to you through the process. Are you alarmed because now 3 nurses are coming in? So what's going through your mind at that time?
I'm laying on this board, on this table, Barbara, and I'm trying to be really cool because I'm there by myself. So I'm trying to be really cool, and I'm trying to just be like, okay, you know, all right. But on the inside, I'm like, what the heck is going on? Okay. So the nurse that came back and did the biopsy, She had my doctor, my surgeon. She's my surgeon now. I hope you don't mind me mentioning her name.
No, I don't.
An awesome surgeon, Dr. Kiva Bland.
Right.
She came in. She says, we're normally not able to tell you right away. She says, well, ma'am, you have stage 4 breast cancer. My cancer was larger than a walnut in my breast. I felt it at different times throughout the years.
Okay.
I felt it. But people would tell me when you're getting close to your cycle, you can get fibroidic cyst, and, you know, they would tell me all different kinds of things. And again, not thinking much about cancer, I'm thinking, oh, okay.
So as we're talking about your journey, the most important thing I hear, as you're saying, is education. We need to be educated on our bodies, how cancer affects our bodies, and another thing that you said, because in the audience I have Kimberly Harris, who's here. She did a show with me last year on breast cancer, and she talked about the importance of your support system, not going by yourself, because when the doctors are giving you the diagnosis, they're telling you things like your mind is going, so you may not hear everything that they're telling you to do.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit more, Keisha, about the process and the journey that you've been going through.
I do want to say that when you speak about the support system, I was very blessed in a manner. It was a woman. Her name is Jackie Fountain. When you first walk into Carmano's downtown, she registers you in.
Okay.
Being that I was by myself and she saw my age, she came in the back room with me.
Wow.
She just sat with me.
Awesome.
To this day, every time I walk in there, I give her a hug because I don't know what I would have done.
Awesome.
So she gave me that support that I didn't even recognize I needed.
Great.
The journey of it, I got diagnosed. They told me infiltrating ductal. Again, I still didn't know what it was, but I ran home and I got on the internet.
Okay.
You know, I didn't even sit my family down yet because you got to keep, at that time I had 18, 15. Well, I'll say it like this. I had a 6th grader, a 8th grader, a 9th grader, and a 12th grader.
All right.
So, you know, I'm confused, you know, to say the least.
Right.
But I went home and I went to Googling everything. I don't recommend that, though.
Okay.
Because when you Google everything,
Everything comes up.
and you'll just say, I'm going to die.
Right.
You know, that'll just come to your mind because you'll hear all of the horror stories, you know, and you don't get that light. Diagnosed, went back to the doctor. They did the biopsy on me, went back to the doctor. The odd thing about it was they said, we got to do chemo immediately, but then a problem came in because they said they needed to do the surgery on me. Now, again, I'm still I'm trying to figure all this out because you got to keep in mind that this is in a week span. This is just 1 week going through. So they said, but the cancer is too large, so we can't do the surgery right away. We got to do a chemo on her. So, okay, I say, well, come on, give me the chemo because I need to get this taken care of. In the process of it, when they drew blood from me, they came back and a genetics doctor came to me. Genetics doctor says, you're genetically connected to cancer.
Okay. Now explain genetically connected to somebody who maybe does not understand there's some down the line in your family.
Yes.
Okay.
Genetically connected. My father's side of the family runs very deep in cancer. I was not very connected to my father's side of the family. I did not know much about my father's side of the family, to be honest. I just met them all on Facebook within the past since I was diagnosed. And I mean, you know, I knew them over the years, but didn't know them.
Right.
And so my father's side of the family is connected. My father died from prostate. My sister, rest in peace, just died last year. She died from breast, which led to ovarian for her. Being BRCA1 is BRCA1 and BRCA2 for breast cancer. BRCA1, BRCA2. I'm BRCA1, which means that mine is hormone induced. My cancer, the more hormones I have in me, the more I can push cancer through. It's like sugar. If people don't know, most people may not be aware, but sugar feeds cancer. So, you know, if you get sugar in your body, it's going to just explode that cancer out.
Now, I know that several of my friends have, you know, are experiencing bouts with cancer, and that's one of the things that they do is try to provide information as they find out things, and that refined sugar or sugar is not good for you. You should go with a natural product. Now, when you say BRCA1 and BRCA2, is there does BRCA, is that an acronym for something? Do you know? Can you explain?
BRCA1, BRCA2 basically just stands for breast, BR, CA, breast cancer 1, breast cancer 2. You know, it's just within my body. My hormones feed it off. My it's so heavy in my family. The people that's on Facebook that support me and lift me up know my sister died from breast cancer, which led to ovarian. My niece that was 25, she died 2 years ago. I just had a cousin that died. My father died. My grandmother died. In my father's side of the family, I don't really like wearing this title. I know that some of my family members are listening to me now, but I'm the last one alive that's fighting. I'm the last one here. So they, you know, they hold you up to a certain level, but at the same time, I'm trying to express to them that I'm just, you know, trying to fight.
You just fighting.
I'm just fighting.
And I know that on this journey, God has you fighting, that you are truly a staunch advocate for breast cancer. You know, people don't understand sometimes your strength, but you still are human. You go through. You know, you're fighting this fight all by yourself, although you have advocates and people that are pushing you. So I know some days you get weary. Yeah. But if you trust and, you know, educate yourself, educate, advocate, which is what you're doing, you know, God will keep you. And, you know, and I'm praying, you know, that you continue to learn what you can. You continue to do what it is that you're supposed to do. Don't let worry, stress, fear, you know, because those are things that can play into your sickness and your illness as well. And I'm here to do whatever I can to support you, to alleviate any, you know, you need to talk 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning, because I'm up a lot of times. So I just want you to make sure that you know, reach out to me if it's anything that I can do to help you. Like I said, I have sisters that are in the struggle. You know, my girlfriends who have overcome. You were talking about when people come out, they sometimes, when they get to the 5-year mark, I want you to talk a little bit about that, what they say, you know, and you're not able to say that yet, but God knows that one day you'll be able to.
You know, fighting cancer genetically is strange because yesterday I had a very important doctor's appointment. I was told 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago that I have a spread. My cancer is in my left breast, but it's also in my lymph nodes. So I was told that there was a small spread in my lymph node and that we may have to do chemotherapy again, in-house chemotherapy, not our house. I do out-house chemotherapy. I do pill form now. And they said they may need to do in-house. Now, what you got to understand is that they take you off of in-house chemotherapy after a while is because chemotherapy only works but for so long. Okay. After a while, your body can become immune to it. So that's why you can't stay on it for so long. You know, and it also breaks down your system. So being genetically connected, I'm not able to say at 5 years I'm cured because it's within my system, they say. You know, it's within my system, they say. So, you know, you feel good. Yesterday I was at my appointment and I thought I was going to have to go on in-house. I didn't. I don't have to go on in-house chemo. They're going to give me a stronger out-house chemo to do for a while. But it was a lady that she came out, you know, and you're excited for them. She came out, she was like, I'm 5 years. She was like, I'm cured. And you're happy for her. You know, you're genuinely, you know, happy for her because going through this journey, it teaches you something about yourself. But on the inside, I am kind of like, you know.
When am I going to be able to say that? Will I ever be able to say that?
Well, you know, and my doctor's explaining to me that this will be a constant battle. You know, because what you gotta know is that when it's in your system, you worry. But even if you're not genetically connected, for the ladies that's out here, they can agree with me there. Like, it's a constant fear because breast cancer tends to come back. You know, it'll come back on you. It's a constant fear. You know, 4 years can go by, and then next thing you know, you were diagnosed at stage 2 in the beginning, now you're at stage 4. So it's a constant fear for everybody. But when you're genetically connected, it truly is. I've through my journey with cancer, I've been diagnosed with other issues. I have Addison's disease, which is lack of adrenal glands. The best way that I explain that to people is that I don't have the ability to fight or flight. Your adrenal glands naturally would tell you if a dog comes to you to either run or to fight it. I don't have that. The cancer ate that up on me while I was while I was fighting cancer, but didn't know I was fighting cancer. Okay. So I don't have adrenal glands. That's called Addison's disease. I was just diagnosed maybe 2 months ago with pseudotumor cerebri. Pseudotumor cerebri is basically, pseudo means fake.
Right.
So that's the oddest part of this. It's where water builds up in my brain, and it looks as though I have a tumor in my brain.
Okay.
But it's not a tumor, but it can lead to a tumor. Oddly enough, that's the strangeness of it all.
Okay.
So what that is major headaches. That's, you know, major headaches, major pain throughout your body. You know, depression can set in through it.
Right.
So when you speak about the process and what you go through, depression, anxiety, you know, when I was first diagnosed, they red tagged my folder at the hospital. They red tagged me anxiety, high anxiety, because I would go in, I was afraid of everything. Don't poke me like that, I can get Mercer. Don't do this, I can get this. Don't, you know, because I feel like I'm already fighting too much. So don't give me anything else. It's something as simple as if you cough. I'm naturally afraid because a regular cold for you can be pneumonia for me, you know. So it's the fear is there. So the depression can be there.
I understand when Helena came in, you know, I had my little sanitizers on, you know. I mean, I was thinking, you know, like I want to bring the Lysol because I'm aware that you guys are susceptible to, you know, the germs. So, you know, I'm a hugger. You know, I want to hug, you know, but I want to wash my hands because I don't want to give, you know, I don't want to take for granted that, you know, I may, you know, be carrying something, any little germ or disease that, so I think about that. I didn't think about it before, but because I care and love the people who are, you know, that I know that's fighting, I think about those things more and more. I have a friend that's in the medical field that said that there are some viruses, you know, that are coming around that, you know, people, they don't have a cure for, cold-like, flu-like symptoms. So, you know, wash your hands as much as you possibly can. When you cough, make sure you cough into your arms. Those different things not only help you, but it helps the people around you. And because I'm loving on you so much, I was like, let me get my Bath and Body Work in my little sanitizer because I want to make sure that I take care of you as you come to share this information with people. Now, you talked about, you know, when you were out and you were partying and, you know, you were 33 and you were diagnosed and you feel this lump in your breast. Were you going to a doctor, a regular, I mean,
No.
you never, okay.
No, I you know, I had my OBGYN, but just to be honest with you, like a lot of African-American women, African-American men, a lot of people in general, we take our health for granted, you know, especially mothers. You know, we take care of everybody else around us. We take the kids to the doctor, we take the kids to the dentist, you know, but we don't take care of our own selves. So when I feel that lump a little bit, if somebody else tell me, oh, that's probably a fibroidic cyst, that's, you know, it's nothing. You're about to come outside. I took that. And I was like, okay, because anyway, I got to get the kids to school. I got to get this and that. I don't really have time for that. So we don't pay enough attention to ourselves, and we got to pay attention to even the smallest thing. If you have a mole that just appear on your face or on your body, you got to pay attention to that. You know, you have to get to know you.
So mammograms, because you talked about 33, because usually they don't even recommend it until you're 40,
I'm fighting that now.
Okay, so talk a little bit about the mammogram. What does it do? I mean, it's an X-ray, you know, and everybody talk about, you know, you don't want to have a mammogram, but you know,
want to have a mammogram,
but it's very important.
Yes,
it's very important.
Mammogram. What I'm fighting is well, this is what I tell everybody. Regardless to your age, they have to give you a mammogram if you say these keywords. If you say, I have family history. My family has cancer. It doesn't matter if you're 22. My daughter is 21 years old. My daughter gets mammograms. Okay? Because if they cannot turn you away, your insurance can't turn you away. If you don't have insurance, they can't turn you away. If you say, I have family history. I tell people like this. If you feel something on you and you don't have family history, say I have family history. Okay?
I know that's right.
Because it's just better to be sure. Because I didn't know I had family history like that. My mother's side of the family, my grandmother fought a small battle with cancer. She didn't even have to get chemo. She got radiation and was done.
And speaking, I'm glad you said that because I was thinking, what's the difference in chemo and radiation? Is
Oh,
there-
yeah.
Okay.
Chemotherapy is a drug that they put through your body either intravenously. I have a port placed in my body right now. So I get I take pictures on Facebook.
I see you.
And
that's why I was wondering, should I wear a mask today? Yeah, let's
no,
say,
no,
okay,
I'm
all right,
okay.
I'm thinking about
Yeah,
you.
I'm okay. So chemotherapy is a drug. It comes through your body as different forms of it, or it can be pill form.
Okay.
You know, pill form normally means, though, that you're either out of the woods for the most part, or your body's just taking on too much stress from chemo, from the kind that goes intravenously through your body.
All right.
Okay. I know a lot of the ladies that's fighting breast cancer can tell me that they probably took a type called erythromycin. That's called red devil, as we call it, because that's a harsh chemotherapy. That's another thing. You got to educate yourself on the chemotherapies, because the chemotherapy, if you read it, it'll help. I took erythromycin, which probably some of these ladies in the audience took. It kills breast cancer, but it promotes blood cancer.
Wow.
You know, so you have to read, because you'll get rid of one issue
And start another.
and you'll start another one. So you gotta educate yourself. You gotta be. I tell everybody, you gotta be your own advocate. What you gotta also be, though, is you gotta be upbeat. You gotta have a spirit that's about fighting.
Yes.
You got to have a. I've had a good friend of mine, Ebony Dickerson, and Ebony Batchelor.
Okay, can you just stop right there? Because Ebony Dickerson was my neighbor. She lived across the street. I saw her grow up from a little kid. As a matter of fact, her sister was supposed to come here today. And I called Ebony, as she was growing up, Michael Jordan, because the girl could hoop.
She could hoop,
she
couldn't
was
she?
bad, okay? And I always told her, when you get off of F Block, P Rock, don't forget about your girl, okay? So I
know
Ebony, her mother, Denise, Tony, the twins. Very good, very close friends of mine. Renisha is like a daughter to me,
Yes.
and I love them. So I watched, when Ebony was diagnosed, and she went to the natural treatments, and different things like that. But I have many friends.
That's a heavy debate. People, you'll lose friends over that conversation when you're fighting cancer.
Really?
You'll lose friends over, and I've had people disengage with me off of Facebook, defriend me, because I'm all for holistic.
Right.
I do some things.
Right.
I do alkaline water. I do juicing. I do some things, but at the same time, I know that in-house chemotherapy that is helping me. Radiation, just to jump back to that real quick. Radiation is a beam. It's exactly what it sounds like, microwaving.
Okay.
They don't, but see, it kills cells around it, because even though they're able to target an area, when you get radiation, they give you these little tattoos on your body, these little dots on your body to be able to know just about where to hit.
Okay.
But it's going to hit other areas as well. And it just, after you go through the chemo, it just nukes what they feel like might be small cells that the chemo didn't get. Okay? But it will nuke other things, so it makes you excessively tired. As I was telling Helena, I got shingles through my radiation. So it's harsh on the body, too.
Yeah, 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other.
Yeah.
You really got to educate yourself.
People will, that the whole going holistic versus not going holistic thing will spur major debate.
Okay.
Because some people, the chemo is a drug, and it's nasty, and and it's true, and it hurts.
Right.
I don't know how long I had cancer before I was actually diagnosed, but I didn't feel no pain till I started chemo. You know what I'm saying? I didn't feel any pain till I started chemo.
Okay.
But it's got me here. I mentioned Ebony Dickerson. Ebony Dickerson went holistic. She fought a valiant battle.
Yes.
She fought a valiant battle.
Yes.
I have another friend, speaking of Ebony, I have a friend, Ebony Batchelor. She was breast cancer as well. Both of these ladies are my age.
Okay.
Both of them are my age. I know from school. Ebony Batchelor decided to go holistic as well. Just being frank with you, everybody who I've seen who's gone completely holistic has not made it.
Okay.
So I've decided that I got to take this poison. I got to right now, because
you're fighting a battle. It's your battle.
It's my battle.
It is your battle, and every body and bodies are very different. So, you do what you have to do to live with, this disease and not die from it. And I I pray for the families that are suffering, the families that have lost loved ones, but we know that, I truly believe God makes no mistakes.
No.
Okay. You're fighting this, and you're doing an awesome job. Now, aren't you like a Michigan spokesperson? Because I know Donna in Washington.
Yeah, Donna Kaufman, she's listening right now.
Okay.
Donna Kaufman, she's a lobbyist out of D.C.
Okay.
And she contacted me on Facebook because she saw that I was, making headways here in the city and here in the state. She says, listen, we're going to do a Million Cancer Survivor in March.
Okay.
She says, I've been watching you. I want to know if you'd head over Michigan.
Right.
So needless to say, I'm like, Michigan, the whole state of Michigan? I thought
Right.
you were saying Detroit.
Right.
But you're saying the whole state. She said the whole state. I'll
Okay.
give you everything you need to make that happen.
All right.
She says, I want you to do it. Also, because I'm BRCA1, it was a big controversy for a while, whereas the hospitals and the doctors were taking our genes.
Okay.
And they were doing things with our genes without our permission. So Donna fought for that for us.
Okay.
So now I'm on a big billboard in Washington, D.C. because I'm a fighter and I'm the youngest that they have there
Okay.
that's fighting. So it's just all about pulling out awareness, letting everybody know that, hey, if you're fighting it, and it doesn't have to be just breast cancer.
Right.
Because I want to state that
Exactly.
too. I want to really push the idea that I know that October Pink get a lot of love. Other cancers are so bitter by that.
Okay.
And it's a cancer that never is spoke about,
Lupus.
which is, lupus is a disease that's never spoke about. Sickle cell anemia is never spoke about.
Okay.
But metastatic breast cancer,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? Metastatic breast cancer get one day in October.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about that, because I did look that up, and I want to, talk
Yeah.
about what does that mean?
Metastatic breast cancer means that it went from one place to a major organ. It went from your breast to or organ, liver, pancreas. And they just get October the 15th. They're not pink. Matter of fact, they can't stand the color pink. When you talk to them, they like, I can't stand pink because they feel shunned.
Right.
Lung cancers feel shunned because lung cancers get a bad rap that I did this to myself.
Wow.
So they get shunned. My father died of prostate cancer. Men don't go get checked out enough.
Exactly.
It's so colon cancer, so many different cancers, and men get breast cancer.
Yeah.
I have a friend that don't mind me mentioning his name. He don't mind me using him all the time.
Okay.
His name is Anthony Dorsey. He beat stage 2 breast cancer.
Okay.
Men get breast cancer as well, but metastatic meaning hit an organ. Most people won't die from actual breast cancer.
Okay.
They will die from that cancer traveling
Spreading.
somewhere else. Okay?
When I was looking up metastatic, and I believe like they listed it, and they always said it goes in alphabetical order to your bone, to your liver, to or lungs, to your,
And you got to know that metastatic breast cancer, they haven't studied it long enough to know how long a person will live. They do know that most people with metastatic breast cancer is going to die. They just don't know how long they're going to make it. My friend Ebony Batchelor, it went to her pancreas, and when it hit her and it went to her brain, and when it went to her pancreas first, she was still fighting hard. But like I said, that chemo is so hard on you that I think that's what made her go holistic, because she just felt like that chemo was so
draining.
hard on her. But really, it was the metastatic, it was just the cancer itself traveling,
Okay.
to have cancer in your bones, to have it, I have it in my breast and my lymph nodes. I'm not able to lift my left arm. I'm not able to do my hair. Now, I used to wear all types of hairstyles.
Okay.
Small changes you have to make. Now, I got to keep it in a ponytail. I got to keep it where I can bend like that and just do it. It can build depression. I got to go back there. It can build depression. Lord knows I sit some nights, and because on Facebook I'm kind of known as like the face of it. So everybody, even when I talk about how hard it is for me, people just kind of come back with, "You're gonna beat it. You're winning it.
Right.
You're great."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
I'm like, no, I'm
Sit in
sucking
my
right
shoes.
now.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I
No,
got it.
this
got it.
sucks.
I got it.
My kids, my son who's graduating this year, my kids are suffering with me.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, my son, he's 12th grade now. They call him Mr. ACT. Communication Media Arts is listening right now as well.
Okay.
And they call him Mr. ACT in the school. He has the highest ACT score in the building.
All right.
Okay, but 9th and 10th grade year, I was diagnosed 9th grade year. His grades sucked.
'Cause
He
he's
was
worried about
afraid his mother was going to die.
Yeah.
You know, my youngest son, he's an advocate.
Okay.
He'll get up. He's 13. He'll stand up like, my mother has breast cancer.
All right.
You know, she's beating it. My daughter don't want to talk about
All
it.
right.
Now, I'm worried for myself, but being genetically connected, I'm worried
With
that,
their
did I
children.
pass this to them?
Right.
Did I give this to them? Well, I now, because my sister, that's what happened with my sister. My sister fought with her daughter.
Wow.
Her daughter died first. My sister died the following year. So it's like you know, we got to do more shows like this because we
Most
could talk
definitely.
forever.
Most definitely.
You know, on this because there's so many people that's fighting, you know, this disease, different forms of cancer.
Wow.
Cancer is getting out of control. Right. But your habits, like the drinking,
Right.
the drinking definitely pushed my cancer to stage 4 faster.
Okay.
I know that, and you know, I'll say that with readiness. I don't want to seem like, oh, just genetics got me. It was in me,
Okay.
but I was drinking
You
liquor.
helped it.
I pushed it through. I
Okay.
was drinking Diet Pepsis all
Okay.
the time,
All
thinking
right.
that was helping my weight when it wasn't doing nothing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But pushing that cancer through.
All right.
I had poor eating habits. You know what I'm saying? That was just allowing that cancer. When you break down them walls because you're not eating right, you're not drinking right, so you know you leaving room for it. You know, it's like a rat. If you leave a hole in the wall, it's gonna climb in.
Right.
And that's what the cancer did. It was like, oh, wait a minute,
Okay.
her barrier's
I
down.
know that's right.
We about to get in there and get her. And that's what it did. So, you know, I pushed it just as much as well.
Somebody is out here and they're listening to you. How do they get in touch with you? I know you have a Facebook page, but if somebody wanted to just, you know, run some things by you, listen to you, we'll put some sites where they can go to for more information. But how do they get in touch with my subject matter expert, me, Keisha, the chemo coach Smith? How can they reach you?
You can find me on Facebook. On Facebook, I'm Keisha, the Chemo Coach Smith. The Chemo Coach just simply means that I help you through that journey. You know, I'll come down to the doctor. You don't have to sit down there by yourself. I sit up on the phone late at night with people all the time in their journey. When they're beginning, I tell them, you know, learn about that chemo. They can find me on Facebook. If you don't find me on Facebook, just more directly, my telephone number is 313-651-6240. Call me, you know, any time of day. It does not matter because I'm most likely up. I take so many medications that I'm not sleeping.
Okay.
So I'm most likely up. You can find me on there. You can find me on the metastatic breast cancer website. Like I said, on Facebook, we have a lot of underground websites because whereas I don't mind sharing my journey,
Exactly.
a lot of the women I know, they do mind. And especially, just to be more forward about it, especially older women.
Okay.
They don't like talking about it.
Understandable.
They don't like talking about it. So, you know, they can find me on underground sites. If you just put in Keisha Smith, you know, if you go through Google, you can just Google in Keisha the Chemo Coach and Smith, and I'll come up and it'll send you directly to me. I also have an organization called From the Campus to Cancer. That organization that I have, that's my baby. That's for people 49 and under fighting, because we have special issues. Not that 49 and above don't, but when you're 25 fighting, you know, you have issues that's different. You have reproductive issues, whereas somebody 50 or older, they may not be thinking about it.
Right.
Sexuality issues, you know, everything changes for you, and you just got to know how to deal with it. If you don't know how to deal with it, your relationships can be disturbed, you know. You can become a hermit. You can, you know, stay in. I recognize I do that. You know, it took me so long to get to you, honestly, because you're getting out. So you can find me on Google. I'm there, or 313-651-6240. I'm awake.
And I truly know, you know, I see you. I see all that you do. I truly appreciate you coming here, talking to me. I have friends. I have a girlfriend who had a mastectomy. Both.
Yeah,
She
I'm
didn't
getting
have
that.
cancer. She didn't have
like
cancer.
my sister did.
But she wanted to, you know, make sure that she prevented it because it was in her family, you know, as well. So I have family members that, you know, have suffered, you know, with cancer. I just lost my mom, although I lost her to life, just long life, I didn't lose
Which
her
is a blessing.
to any illness or anything. So I thank God, just for that, but I will be making sure that my mother never had a pap smear, never had a mammogram. I was talking to her doctor at her services last week. She said, I had to tell her, Miss Franklin, just sign this paper right here so I can let people know that you refuse. She said, well, where do you want me to sign? Because I'm not doing it, because older people, exactly, She said whatever she left here with, she was taking it to Jesus, and she never lied, because she went on home to be with her Lord with, no problems. But when you talk about eating right, when you talk about, being more aware of the things that we do, carrying too much weight, in different areas that we really, especially as African American
we
women.
get the most aggressive strand. We have African American women get the most aggressive strand. In March, I got to get bariatric surgery.
Okay.
I'm getting bariatric surgery in March because I picked up weight. A lot of people think you lose weight when you have cancer.
Right.
I picked up weight because
Okay.
I got Addison's disease. I take steroids every day.
Okay.
I got to get that done because the cancer hides in fat pockets,
Right.
Then once I get that done, I got to get a double radical done. So I get both breasts removed. I already had a lumpectomy, but I'm getting both breasts removed. I've had a hysterectomy already. My sister that's living, she just called me 3 days ago and said, sis, I just had my hysterectomy. I'm getting my breasts removed because I found out that I'm genetically connected too. This is all through my father. So, we just connected. Hi, how you doing? I'm your sister.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, and we're doing that process.
That's
But
good.
we got to be self-aware. Do them exams every month in your bathroom.
Okay. The
Get
self-exam.
self-exam. Self-exam.
Right.
Just, get to know your body. You get to know everything else in life.
Okay.
You get to know how
Seriously.
how to do everything else. Get to know your body. Get to know yourself. If I could just had if I had a magic wand, I would take it away. I'd take lupus away because a lot of people that's fighting cancer, for some reason, they're getting lupus with it. A lot of the women that I know, it's coming with each other. So sickle cell anemia, another African American disease that's not spoke about.
No.
Not only African American. We think that only African Americans get it, but that's not true. But more African Americans get it. But it's silent. It's quiet.
Right.
We got to discuss it.
Well, I'm grateful that you're not quiet. I'm grateful that you are in the fight and in the struggle. I thank God, because sometimes, we suffer through things and we just, we have the selfish thing, I'm going to get well, but I'm not going to share with anybody else. I thank God that you're advocating for women. I thank God that you share your information with your whole story, because your, testimony, it will save somebody else's life.
So.
Now, I know that we don't have enough time, because we could talk about this all day long. But what I do want you to do, because there is somebody out there that's suffering, somebody that's silently going through, and they think that they're alone. They think that they can't make this thing work. How are they going to do it? I want you to look over into this camera over here, and I want you to just speak to somebody. Tell them, how they can make it.
Okay. If you're fighting cancer, if you're fighting any other illness that's a disease that's in your body, what I want you to do is I want you to find your level of highness. If it's a God, if it's a deity, whatever it is, I want you to find it. If it's just your inner spirit, I want you to find it. I want you to go to that place, and I want you to say to yourself, you can do this. I'm doing it. I came from stage 4. I wear trifocal glasses because I can't see. Cancer's taking my vision. But I'm doing it. So you can do it. If you just put your mind to it. Your mind will make everything else work. I promise you that. When you know that you can win that battle, you're going to win that battle, and you can. I'm not special. I'm just choosing to say that I'm going to win this. You choose to say that you're going to win it too. If you can't go to family members, I can't go to all my family members. If you can't go to family members, I chose Facebook. I don't talk to some family. I go on Facebook. I put it all on there. I put my pictures of my breasts when they're giving the medicine, everything, because regardless to whatever, I'm going to get my support. You got to get support somewhere. You want to get it from somewhere, you don't know where else to get it, you don't have Facebook, you're not that kind of person, you don't have family members, you're not that kind of person, or they're not that kind of people, come to me. I'm Keisha, the Chemo Coach Smith, 313-651-6240. I talk a lot, but I listen better. I promise. I listen better. All right? We can win this fight. We do not. I'm 36 years old. I've been fighting for 3 years straight. I intend to fight for 43 more at least. Okay? So fight with me. Fight with me.
Yes, and then I want to make sure that I get your information so I can put it up at the end of this show. I want to, again, thank you
Oh, Barbara, no, thank you. You're a catalyst.
so much.
You're a catalyst.
Thank you so much for being here, for sharing your story, for being vulnerable, for real talk, real people.
Yeah.
I want to thank my studio audience, the ladies that came out, the
All
ladies,
these warriors.
okay, the ladies who are, yet suffering through.
So, man.
I thank you so very much. And so I'm going to end this show the way I always do, thanking the people that watch the show, my public. I hope that we bring you something that will be a blessing to you. And I'm going to say to you, from my beating heart to your beating heart, I love you. You understand? Okay.